Succession is finally over. If you haven't seen it, quickly go watch it and come back, as we're going to be discussing what happened in the critical moments of this episode. Firstly, can we all just agree how actually epic this show is? No massive battles, no CGI, no rubbish story mechanics, just people in rooms talking business and family issues. Amazing stuff. HBO know how to make a show. It's been a little time since I watched the finale and I can't stop thinking about the episode. It's made my gut wrench a little bit as I'm trying to come to terms with what happened. Why did Shiv buckle in the final minutes of the board meeting? So what the hell actually happened? Why? Let's just go through the dot points of what happened first. I honestly thought Roman was going to lose it and no show or even vote against it. But he kept his nerve and backed his older brother. A happy-ish ending seemed certain, but sibling rivalry reared its head. I just need a minute, she said. Boom. Just like that, it's over. We all know it's done and dusted at this point. Then the fireworks begin. The ugliest family arguments we've seen on the show. It can't be you, Shiv tells Kendall, because you killed someone. Referring to the waiter Kendall forced to drive while off his absolute rocker and went off a bridge and died. Kendall denies it all and backtracks. That didn't happen. It was a false memory. Roman is absolutely disgusted, thinking Kendall was just creating a play. Roman then lobs a massive nuke when he claims that Kendall's kids aren't even his. She's the bloodline, he says. If that's your argument, Dad's view was yours aren't. Jesus. Freaking hell. Nasty. The scene ends with Shiv returning to the boardroom to vote against her brothers and Kendall ripping into Roman's face. Okay, so firstly, I may have missed it during the show, but I had no idea that they weren't Kendall's biological children. I found it interesting that if indeed they weren't, that the show revealed it to us viewers at this critical point. If I missed it, and I'm wrong about this, then sorry guys, but it seemed implied that they may have been adopted or even that Rava may have been having an affair and everyone, including Kendall's family, knew about it, or at least had a very high suspicion. What an absolute mess. I felt like the show was trying to show us how delusional Kendall may have actually been the whole time. I always thought that Kendall was just confident, and CEOs on that level with the ordering around and just forcing their vision onto people was how it's done. But now I'm just thinking back on the show and I think maybe Kendall was a big joke the whole time. Maybe everyone viewed him as a joke. As Roman says in that room, we're nothing. We're just bullshit, man. But back on point, why did Shiv change her mind? I think it was a couple of things. The most obvious is Shiv, who had always been looked over by her father for the crime of being a woman, and who had also pretty much had been pushed out again by her two brothers this season, just couldn't stand to see her brother win. She was still married to Tom, was about to be picked as the new US CEO, which makes her close to the center of power still. This would ensure she is not out in the cold again, and I dare say she could pull Tom's strings easier than Kendall's, especially with the Gojo CEO, Lucas, is living abroad. She's not in charge, but she's married to the man that is, and she's having his baby. Another reason I feel is that out of her brother as a CEO who admitted to contributing to someone's death while off their head on drugs and then lying about it in the moment, or worse, being full-blown delusional and believing that it didn't actually even happen, could have scared Shiv right off. Having someone this delusional or morally corrupt in charge of a media empire could have a massive impact on the world. I'm not sure which is really worse, Kendall lying about his involvement in the death, or Kendall believing that it didn't happen in the first place. Both options are really scary, and maybe Shiv could see the danger. The happier option though is that in the end, Shiv just loved Tom, her husband, and chose Tom in love over her toxic, corrupt brothers. Shiv had put it all on the line with Tom early in this episode when she thought she was going to be the US CEO. She called Tom and tried to work through their problems. Business is business. She may have got rid of him in the end and fired him, but I believe still she would have stayed with him as his wife. Shiv chose her husband, a man who was loyal to her father to the very end, the man who was the father to her child, the man she has more chance to control and pull his strings in the end than anyone else. And also, maybe she just had enough. Maybe she was just sick of this toxic environment, realizing that no one gives a crap about anyone and no one has really checked in on her and how her pregnancy is progressing. Maybe in the end she just chose herself, cashed out for all that cash, and was going to focus on her new baby and raising a family. It's nice to think that one of the Logan kids could still actually make a decision we could all relate to. And finally, the final scenes hit me hard. Kendall watching those choppy waves, staring out at all the nothingness. In my mind, Kendall has a tough road ahead. To be honest, personally, I think he probably would end it at some point, as messed up as that sounds. I know it sounds terrible and I hate thinking it, but it just makes sense. In his mind, he's lost everything. Even though he has squillions and squillions of dollars, I hope not. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, whether you think Kendall would have a happy ending or something a bit darker like what I'm thinking. So what do you guys think? Sibling rivalry? Was it a big F to her brothers? Was it a moral high ground choice? Or was it for love and for her unborn child? Or just a mix of everything? Also, what do you think the future holds for each of them, especially Kendall? Sound off in the comments what you think. Thanks for listening, guys. I really love this show. You know, I'm spewing it's over in 4 years, but yeah, I'm looking forward. Hopefully there's a spin-off. Maybe we can see a Tom show, Tom and Greg. That would be sick. Anyway, like the video, subscribe if you want, if you got some enjoyment, and yeah, speak to you guys soon. Have a good day. Bye.